we were risking £20,000 plus £10,000 worth of all the architect, the planning, surveys, everything that's gone into that. That was our upfront risk.
So here we go, we're in Gloucester again with Shane. As you can see, this is a beautiful 10-bed HMO in progress. So Shane, tell us, what's the purchase price on this one?
190,000.
190,000, yeah? And you just gave us a really good explanation of how do you decide how much you can buy it for and how much you can spend it for, obviously using the formulas that we've been using for years. Yeah, so obviously you use these formulas to work out what the value is. So what's the value at the end when it's done? Are you hoping to get?
770. So just to give you a bit of an overview of the project itself. When we bought it for £190,000 and a sale had fallen through. The reason why people look at it now and go, God, that was cheap. So what we did, we paid, it would actually been sold and we didn't get a discount. It was 190. It was on the market, it was falling through. I spoke to a few people in the network that I know and said, I need that property, I need that property. So we secured it, asking price. But then what we managed to do, we managed to negotiate. We put £20,000 down as a deposit, so we exchanged with delayed completion. Because as soon as we exchanged, we wanted to put a planning application in. Because if we borrowed £190,000 off a bank, they wouldn't give us much because it was a commercial building, it had no value, because it was vacant. And because we didn't have planning permission, we couldn't raise any finance on it because it wasn't a residential property without planning. So we solved the problem of the vendor. The vendor had had a sale fall through. We're like, well, let's give them certainty. So we were risking £20,000 plus £10,000 worth of all the architect, the plannings, the surveys, everything that's gone into that. That was our upfront risk. But then on the 3rd of March, we had to complete, but we didn't have planning. So what do we do? Obviously, but we'd obviously started work. The idea was that 4 months, let's just say we borrowed 20 grand at 10%, over 4 months, it's not going to cost you anything. So it's a free hit, essentially. But then as soon as you have to complete, and then we had to try and work with one of our investors to say, this is all our feedback from conservation, and we knew we were going to get planning, but it was just taking time and taking time and taking time. Hence why we had to make a call that said, how far do we go with this? At the stage, we didn't think we'd get to this level of refurb. And it's one of those, you think, well, because we still had a fallback position, similar to over the road, we knew what we could do with this. So the back bedroom down the back, and the thing that held this building up was the back bedroom, because they weren't sure whether it was in a flood risk area, and they don't want to put a person sleeping there if there's a flood risk. So we knew that it could be commercial, ground floor could be commercial. We've got 6 bedrooms here. That's what our fallback position is. It could be commercial, ground floor, 6 bedrooms. So even if we didn't get our planning, we could do this. So that's, again, we've put the infrastructure in for the other bedrooms, but again, it's risk management. But then our challenge on this job has been cash flow, because we've never been able to go to a bank. Like now, I can go to a bank, or we can go to a bank and go, we've got planning. Can you lend us some money? But how long is that going to take now? It's going to take 3 months. Adam's going to go, can you order them kitchens? No. And like even now, and it's a challenge now, we've only this coming through yesterday, we're like, well, we probably need to raise some finance just from a private investor to finish this job. Because as soon as it's finished, you get the tenants in, you refinance, all money goes out. And we already think we're going to get a valuation. Should be a good valuation. We were only yesterday talking about the best way of marketing it.
Yeah, so what's some of the major problems that you've had with this one? Because this is really unique, right? It's listed.
Yeah, well, because it's listed and it didn't have residential status or planning consent at the time, if we'd have tried to borrow money on this, it would have cost us a lot of money, and the bank would have probably only given us maybe £100,000. So they would have only given us like half the money to buy it, and then it still wouldn't solve a problem. So we decided to try and exchange contracts with 10% deposit, and that 10% money was our risk money, which was giving it to the vendor. That solved her problem because she didn't want the sale to go away. And if we didn't do what we said we were going to do, she would have £20,000 of our money, and she'd still have the property. So at least she would have been paid for the inconvenience.
So was she in like any distress or a problem that she just needed to get rid of?
It was a probate property. She had been left it. She didn't want it. She doesn't live around here. And obviously it was a derelict commercial building that had been bashed to pieces. It just wasn't very nice. There was no commercial element to it. Hence why £190,000 was a really good price, but you had to be a certain sort of person to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
But no one's going to try and do that and turn it into their home or anything like that.
Yeah, and no one would probably even give it a go to put it into HMO because there's so much work, there's so much unknown. So like, how have you been able to handle that?
It's been challenging, but again, we walked into it knowing that we had a fallback position. So we knew that if we didn't get what we wanted, we had a halfway house which worked for us.
And what was that?
So which was keep it commercial on the ground floor and to 2 residential units above, each up to 6 people. So what it would have meant is we'd have created 2 3-bedroom flats. So we could put 6 people in there because we knew we could get 6 bedrooms in the footprint from the first floor, from the second floor and third floor, and a commercial unit. So we knew it worked then. The end value then would have been about 650.
Yeah, always following that process of got to get 2 exits, got to have at least 2 exits. Yeah, and it's working for you, right?
It is, and the hardest part here has been finance, because we've never been able to go to the bank to get finance for it. So it's all had to be private investment.
And that's because you didn't have the planning for, obviously, the bank to see the exit, right?
Yeah, even after we started spending, we spent like £150,000 on it already, but if it was valued now, prior to planning, well, what is it?
Yeah.
Like it's still a commercial building that, yeah, you spent a few quid on, but it's worthless. So that's been the really, really challenging part.
And this just proves once again that it's like true entrepreneurship rather than just like being a typical property investor or so-called property investor that wins the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we're just solving problems.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, you've jumped into a deal that not even a bank would lend on, but now you've got the planning. You can obviously get bank loan, but you're obviously very close to the end.
There's no point.
So,
but
so how are you going to manage, cash flow, get it to the end to get to that refinance point?
I don't know. It depends how quickly this video is going to be done, because I'd quite like someone to lend me about £70,000 to finish it.
70,000. Probably by the time you see this, you've probably already finished anyway, because that's what this guy does, delivers.
Okay, let's go.